Hi, we're Rob and Kathy. Join us in our travels in Australia and beyond. Hello viewer, today we're off down the M1 motorway to take on the Awaba Bay Foreshore Walk. The Awaba Bay Foreshore Walk is situated on Lake Macquarie. The track is 1.6 kilometres long and will take from 45 minutes to an hour. We began our walk at the Mormont Point barbecue area, about 200 metres before the track, as there's good parking and toilet facilities. On our journey today was Kathy, our daughter Sally, and our granddaughter Harley, who's 4, and it'll be interesting to see how she goes on this walk. Lake Macquarie, or Awaba in the local Aboriginal dialect, is Australia's largest coastal lake. It covers an area of around 200 square kilometres and is twice the size of Sydney Harbour. And here we meet the start of the walk proper. So far so good, on quite a good even path. Our first point of interest which we looked for was the Marmong picnic area, which on the website is described as an idyllic place to picnic by the lake where you might like to swim or paddle. And then we realised that this picnic table in the middle of the path was it. Still, on we went with some excellent views of the lake. Path started to become a little more difficult as we slipped down right on the lakeside. And some of these steps were quite large. Speaking of steps, we encountered our first bridge, of which, I am told, there are 15. Our 4-year-old test case was managing them well. National Parks on their website list this as a Grade 3 track, which means no experience is required. There are short, steep hills, many steps, and it's a formal track. For the most part, the path is quite good, although you do have to watch out for tree roots across it. Kathy pointed out some interesting rock formations to Harley. And we continued down more stairs. As you can see, it's not always an easy walk. And then we were back on the banks of the lake. One of the highlights along the way was hearing the bellbirds. You can hear them in the distance. We headed over yet another bridge. I'm worried about trolls living underneath them. More steps. We were heading towards the Alexander picnic ground, which is technically the end of the walk. However, we couldn't find it. So we decided this log would be a spot for morning tea. And we're all very pleased to stop. Kathy consulted her map to make sure we hadn't passed the picnic grounds. But this was quite an acceptable spot anyway.
I think that's it. In the distance we could see, Rob, was this.
Hold on. So after a very nice morning tea, we set off on the return journey. But wait! In the distance, well off the path, obscured by the bush, what was there? Well, it was the Alexander picnic ground. Can't see it from the path, but when you get up there, it's quite a nice little picnic area with a picnic table. What more could you want? Just a little bit late for our morning tea. Then we continued the trek back, and we were all getting a little bit tired. Every bridge had to be recrossed, every step retaken. Well, here we are, we've made it back. I'm very pleased to see the toilet block there in the distance on what has been quite a decent walk. 4 kilometres, about 5,000 steps, so that's pretty good. So summing up, how did we find the Awaba Bay Foreshore Walk? Well, it was very good. It's certainly for the more able walker, a lot of steps, some quite steep sections, watch out for roots. The main criticism would be a lack of real signage showing you where the picnic areas were, especially the Alexander picnic area, which you really couldn't see from the path. But overall, a very good experience and one I would recommend. Thanks for watching.